The open roads Sheeran's song beckons many for reasons as varied as the number who heed the call. Some come for the adventure, some for the perceived romance, some for rebellion, some just to see what is over the horizon. The road is forced upon others, perhaps to escape the past or to flee mistreatment or as the least favorable of limited options brought about by financial disaster or health concerns. In Big Spring, Texas, a young woman was headed for a summer farm job in the mountains.
My name's Michelle. I also go by Sailor. And this is my best friend, Darla.
8 years ago, a rare brain disorder took away her career as a phlebotomist in her hometown of San Antonio. She took the road then, hitchhiking, riding the rails with the modern-day hobo culture, eventually acquiring an automobile in which to car camp with her two-toned-eyed dog, Darla, and with a recent government stimulus, she was able to buy a Class C RV.
You know, like I'm in this situation not because I want to be, it's just something that I kind of had no other choice. And I feel like everyone has the right to travel, and everyone should travel. You should take some time, whether or not you're going to go to college and you have that extra year or 6 months to blow. Go on the road. It's not about age, it's about life experiences. So it's like the more experiences that you get to have, whether they're good or bad, it's going to make you who you are in the future. You know, you might find out that it's not for you, and that's totally fine. But you will find a path in life that brings you happiness. And whether it's something so small or something so big, don't let anyone tell you different. I've had a lot of friends that I've traveled with or that we meet up and we all hang out, or we end up doing a work together on some farms in Oregon, or and I'm always just randomly running into friends, you know, or meeting new people like yourself. I have to say that I find, you know, both. I find friendly people. I think that, you know, I guess one of the rules is you don't spange a stranger, meaning you don't try to get something from someone who doesn't have much as it is. And, you know, I think that when I run into other people, they don't really try to take from me. If anything, we kind of give. We're actually very giving to each other. You know, it's like, hey, I don't have a smoke. Oh, well, here's a smoke. Or, hey, I don't have anything to eat. Well, hey, let me cook up some food real quick and let's all eat. I find actually so much more community and family than I do in a city, or even going to like a church to get food. You know, they want that tax write-off, which my friends or random strangers I run into, they just want to share with me. If I come across maybe someone who I don't want around me, who's maybe drunk, or they're making me uncomfortable, you know, you have to get a little stern and you got to say, okay, can you please get away? If I ever come across, you know, let's say for instance, which it happens, a guy trying to solicit me for sexual favors, instead of like yelling at him, I just say, oh no, thank you. And pretty much that's it. I try not to think of the future too much, you know, because, you know, tomorrow is never even promised. I live in the moment. You know, I live day to day, finding those happy moments throughout those days that make me happy, and I'll hold on to that moment. You know, what you like to call it is one day having, you know, a little piece of property, maybe like 5 acres or so. You know, put my RV on there and have a garden, and, you know, I guess always feeling like I could be self-sustaining at some point would be really lovely, and I know that that's a lot of work. Of course, having an RV or even having a vehicle brings more responsibilities than I had just being on foot. But it's also, it's nice, you know, like I lived in a van for a while, and, you know, now I can change my clothes standing up. Don't have to go find a Walmart to use a restroom or a gas station, or maybe go dig a hole. Like most people, we get the itchy feet. Like you want to keep going and moving in the next city.
Ultimately, now that you've experienced it for so long, the lure of the open road is hard to resist.
It's hard to resist. It's very hard, and in fact, that's one thing that always makes me keep going. You know, because I feel get stagnant somewhere, and especially because I rely on the generosity of others, you know, I feel like I have to keep moving.